Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Kio, whatever, however you want to pronounce it, time lapse. It has been a little bit. There was an update to the game, to Kiomet. Um, there are many things to discuss, but today the empire that I am featuring is the dreaded dragon Themberchaud. That's right. Big red dragon. It's not the largest empire that I've made, but that's okay. That is a-okay because it's exciting. It's great. I love it. So the time lapse is about to begin. So let me get some music on. There we go. Hopefully that's not too loud. I might shimmy it down just a little bit. Historically speaking, the music has been a bit loud. So, what has changed with the update? Well, as you can see, there are some of these purple players here. Those are allies. Allies cannot attack you. They can break the alliance at any time, and they can transfer you troops. There are no more zombies. There is no more zombie wall at the edge of the world. There is no problems with zombies whatsoever. They do not prey on big players. They do not hinder you. This is good. In exchange, the map generates in a different kind of way. When players join into the map, more land is spawned in these darkened areas. You'll probably see a little bit here later on in the time lapse when players start leaving and entering, but right now things are pretty stable. This is a little bit of a slower speed time lapse than usual, so I don't really know why I'm rushing to get out all of this information because we have plenty of time. But nothing's really going on right now. Things are pretty static. So another thing has changed. You can now loop. What are they called? My brain. You can now loop supply lines. So you see this circle here, and the player down here has departed, and in comes the boss. So you see this loop here. This is a 360-degree loop. It begins and ends at the same spot. In exchange for that, units can only move a maximum of 200 towers. So, like, that's 1 tower, 2 towers, 3 towers, 4 towers, 5 towers, onward and so forth the whole way around the circle. I don't think people have quite fully grasped the best strategies to deal with that just yet, but that's okay. That is very good. So down here you see some bots taking some small bites from me and a impersonator of the player on my left. Impersonators is kind of a problem in Kiomet right now, but I know they are working at resolving that at least somewhat. Let's see, what else has changed? 200 tower limit, zombies, map spawn. So you can see, well, when that player disappeared, these black areas kind of spread a little bit. And if another player were to, say, spawn in nearby, like that right there, that becomes towers that they can utilize. It's an interesting change. Also, I still think this music is too loud, despite me turning it down. There we go. So Fake and Real is here. This player here is also here. Things are still kind of quiet. So this little hand fist pump symbol is the petition to accept an alliance, and you can either accept an alliance or reject an alliance. And it has made all things very interesting. There have been multiple incidents where I've been involved in wars peripherally, where I've supplied troops to attack other players that I'm not necessarily fully trustful of. It creates a lot of dynamic in the game. And a weaker player with a strong ally can hit much harder than you might come to expect. So alliances are very good, and you cannot see what other alliances the other players has, and I'm okay with that. It can lead to situations where you can kind of deviously plot against your own allies. So this little connector up here kind of got broken by this player right here. It's not a huge loss, not yet, but it will stop these reinforcements from coming the whole way around. It will weaken up this line up here. I have a hard time seeing that name, but it doesn't matter because they logged. Okay, that individual there also logged, and here comes the bots. I feel like bots are less aggressive. Now, I don't believe that there have been any overt changes to the bot mechanics, but I just kind of feel like they are not anywhere near as aggressive as they were at one point. I could be wrong, or it could be overshadowed by the fact that players are way more aggressive now. Players are scary in this game. They were always kind of half afraid to fight wars before, but now I don't know if it's a larger player base, because there have been 130, 150 plus players online regularly. We have Holland and Air spawning in and creating nice little empires. VN as well is also sizable, and this player here, still holding strong. I don't think they are doing too much, but they are there. And I have fallen off the leaderboard at this point. Themberchaud has fallen below number 10. But I can see I am number 14 with 1,500 points. It's a nice feature. I like that. I like that I can now see how strong I am. So all these players are offering alliances, and of course, because I am not currently at my PC, I cannot accept those alliances. And that's important, because what I'm very quickly learning, I believe that's those are Chinese symbols, but apologies for my ignorance. Taking a nice little chunk of my northern border before departing. But that player just disappeared as well. And VN just kind of swarms in here and takes it all. But man, I have noticed that players are way more aggressive nowadays, which is good. I like that. Oh, and the player on my border over here disappeared, so it's anybody's match. We have bots spawning in, we have players spawning in. India is getting quite big with their little flag, as this Chinese player up here takes more small bites out of my north. This southern area down here, I didn't really defend very well to begin with, so I am not surprised to see us slowly losing that. But India getting quite large, as is this guest player. And more chaos over here. We have Curiosity, a bot. Guess. Guess is not a bot, they are a player. Bots can offer alliances, but they will only ally with weaker players. They will not ally with larger players. Things are going nuts now. India has gone away already, and this Chinese player is getting quite the little empire there. Curiosity is getting quite big, but they're not really attacking me like I would expect a pre-patch boss. So, as I said, I don't know if that has been changed, but the boss is making some inroads, as is this bot over here, MQ1. MQ1 will depart very quickly, though, and a guest will take its place. Bots still prone to self-destruction, unfortunately. And we are slowly shrinking. We are up to 11, but we are down 200 points from the leaderboard from the last time I checked. MA here is doing quite well, as is 101. Fortunately, none of these players are really pushing into us just yet. That's okay. This player up here, getting quite large. Yes, yes. We have Black Rose. And a bunch of smaller players. Nobody really huge. Argentina is fairly big, but I don't think anybody on the leaderboard. I don't think anybody on the leaderboard actually borders us, but I can't really see the name of this top player. So MA consolidating their base, starting to get a nice little pain train going through with his men, and here he comes. Man, he's coming in hard. Look at that. Oh, man. That's what I want to see. I want to see the wars. I want to see the snake of death come through, completely obliterating me. Excellent. He makes significant progress. I'm not entirely sure why he's not. Okay, I guess he is attacking up here a little bit, but most of his troops are pushing right into this area here. It makes sense. He wants most of his troops to be countering my troops. That way, I'm not, if I do come back, I'm not pushing into his territory. But he has 2 lines of troops right here, 101, 3PO, both taking a little bit of land there, as is Malta. Terrain is quite nice and quite interesting because MA here can only attack me from a few different directions because of these holes here. The quote-unquote terrain holes, I guess you could call them, create very interesting dynamics in wars now, which is a great amount of fun. I enjoy it. I believe that was mentioned on the game's Discord that these aren't really intended effects, but they are bug splat / features. MA continues pushing deep into my territory, but he's not really taking this area in here so much. And 3PO is just gradually getting bigger. Still not on the leaderboard, but that's okay. I'm not really big enough to attract the leaderboard's attention, at least not right now. We'll see what the future has to offer. 3PO breaks the alliance. That could mean that they're planning on actually attacking us. It's kind of hard to tell. But MA just slowly gobbling away. He's taking as much land as he possibly can, which is good. It's nice to see. It's been a few time lapses since I've seen an actual player take such a large chunk out of me. It happens from time to time, but usually it's just bots picking away at me until I get small enough that somebody finally decides to gobble me up. But Themberchaud here is a delicious target. Seb over here got quite big for a while, but they have also disappeared. And we also have this Chinese player up here. They are consolidating their gains and taking a little bit of our territory here. But he is pushing deeper now. Oh boy. Keep in mind, right here where my mouse is, my recording mouse, is where my king is. But this isn't as direct of a path as you might think. I have this kind of interesting bit of territory here where this section right here is on a peninsula. It doesn't actually have any borders, lines that come off into the central area here. So it looks like some of these players are getting quite close. Roomba here, the bot, is not too far from my king, but they have to go down, around, and up. MA here has to go this way and up, and then the Chinese player up here has to come the whole way down around. So it is not a short distance. MA has sort of slowed down their attack here, just taking some small pieces as Guest gets quite large on my border and takes some of the border provinces. This Chinese player is beginning to push deeply into the north to try to take out as much of this northern territory as possible. They want to hammer that out for themselves. MA looked like he actually lost a little bit of territory there. I don't know if maybe he's in another war or what, but he has considerably slowed down from the deep push into the territory that he was giving. But both these players slowly making gains, as is the Guest, but the Guest will depart. Unfortunate. They came quite close, but no longer. Warrior AI is a bot, and the Chinese player here finally cut the north from the south. They now have full reign over this territory to do as they wish, as does 3PO if they were so inclined. And MA continues to be pushed back by this defensive line. I never would have really guessed it because I'm AFK, but it's happening. This Chinese player is pushing deep. I think the Chinese player is looking for my king. They're not quite sure where to go for it, but they are also attacking. I can't really zoom in very well. I want to zoom in, but that's not going to work. Are sort of pushing against this line here, but they're also probing into all this empty space, which makes me think that they're going after my king or searching for my king. We'll see if they find them. They are quite close. MA starting a big push right in here, though, and this is absolutely beautiful. Just these players pushing in from multiple ends. This is what I wanted when I started doing Kiomet time lapses. I wanted to see the empires fragment, and this Chinese player is so close to my king, but MA, he runs into MA, and they maybe they'll be friends. It's hard to say. They will not be friends. They start fighting. There we go. I knew it was going to happen at some point. I just didn't know when. So now they are completely engaged in one another over the corpse of Themberchaud. But Themberchaud's king is still alive. Nobody's claimed that killing blow just yet. We have Germany and another Chinese player spawning in. Curiosity is still here. Curiosity has been here for a while, which is surprising considering they're a bot. But that's okay. I'm good with it. But man, look at the carnage. I have all these little pieces of land up here, through here, down here, and we have another Chinese player here picking apart at the pieces. These two players are definitely duking it out, though. Back and forth, and a very even fight. Nobody's really pushing into... The Chinese player is pushing a little bit deeper into MA, but MA has a little bit of a wider front, it seems. Nobody bothering to finish off Themberchaud. And that is okay. We get to enjoy the fight. Sort of. These two players just push each other back and forth. MA trying to open up a front in the north. As his main column comes into the south, it looks like they're having issues navigating the territory. It's kind of hard to tell from this distance. And we have another Chinese person. Chinese player tries to ally with me. However, a Chinese player doesn't get a response and decides they're just gonna go in and wreck me. That is what I've noticed with a lot of players. You either ally with them or you become their target, and target I become as he slowly pushes his way up the peninsula to head towards Themberchaud's king. And I'm going to pause it for a moment. Just take a look at this. The Themberchaud name is still plastered across 1, 2, 3, 4 players and a bot. Just all this land that other players, mostly players even, have taken. But it's this player who gets the final kill. Man, that is stupendous. That is glorious. I love it. 9 hours. Let's see, what was the final time? 9 hours and 18 minutes. A short one. Considering how small we were, I specifically chose this size because it was sort of in the sweet spot. You're not too big and not too small. But it didn't matter. It's significantly smaller than some of the other time lapses I've done, especially the super long 30-some hour one that I did. I believe that it was the Cheese Empire that was that one, the first one. But players be aggressive now. I don't know if an extremely long time lapse is even possible. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to do a few more. So Until next time, happy gaming.